Georgia passed their voter suppression bill, and it is entirely possible that at some point court challenges might limit it or possibly overturn it. But that said, take a look at what our Supreme Court is like, so don't get too excited about that. In the meantime, different groups in Georgia are gonna do what they can to limit its corrosive impact. Voter advocacy groups and activist groups are gonna try to get people registered and all that with these new restrictions. And also in Atlanta, the mayor, Keisha Lance Bottoms, has issued an administrative order directing the city's chief equity officer to implement a series of actions to diminish what her office called new voting restrictions imposed by the bill. She says the voting restrictions of SB 202 will disproportionately impact Atlanta residents, particularly in communities of color and other minority groups. This administrative order is designed to do what those in the majority of the state legislature did not: expand access to our right to vote. So she's gonna do what she can, the office is gonna do what they can, but bear in mind that the city of Atlanta does not have the authority over state election law, so the administrative order cannot change any of the new requirements. Most of the actions focus on voter education and staff training to better assist Atlanta residents with information on the new law changes or how to obtain necessary identification. So they're going to try to make the new onerous obstacles as unonerous and unobstacle-ish as they can, but they can't change the actual law. Because remember, it's not just that the law says you can't force these places to have X number of days of early voting. They actually limit it specifically. It's not like you have to give water to people waiting in line. You can't give water to people waiting in line. So they can't necessarily change those, JR, but she's gonna do what she can with her office to try to make it as little harm as possible, basically.
Well, look at these freedoms of our country, you got freedom to run up in the Capitol, you got freedom to hoard 105 guns, you have the freedom to shoot people with those guns and then tell them that you get to. But you don't have the freedom to vote. And when new laws come in that restrict people from voting, and they openly talk about that's what they want to have people do, somehow we're still American, somehow we're still the freest country in the world. You can literally have an entire political party, a powerful political party, be behind restricting people's rights in one sentence, and the next sentence say that they're all about freedoms. It just shows you who they think deserves freedoms here, and then who doesn't. So the hard part about here with the Atlanta mayor trying to pushing this is just now it's up to the people to then come out and get that information. Because there's also going to be restrictions. These are multiple states, restrictions on groups actually giving this information or providing assistance to folks to be able to carry out these types of actions. So now people have to seek it out when they don't know what they're seeking, and that's part of the plan, So I don't know, maybe they can put certain money towards certain things, initiatives to actually reach out to people and get to people. They have to kind of have it there and hope that the people kind of get to it. Now, I think part of the small good news of this is at least we're in this age of information where people can get to these things, but we just don't know how to trigger them to get to it. You can't get in someone's morning routine and have them log on to, I don't know where they're gonna put these resources and say just randomly a state website or a city website where they talk about what you can do, when to sign up. These are the new rules. Make sure you do it by this. These are the restrictions. This is how you get around those restrictions. So you can actually have this weird freedom to vote in America. So that's the only good part about this, but I think it's exactly what they're looking for. Like they have not much more recourse left except to just put information out there and hope that people get to it somehow.
Yeah. And hope that this is it, because like obviously them passing this bill is terrible. They passed this bill, they could pass follow-up ones.
Yep.
They could do even more. They could spend 6 months watching to see how Democratic mayors and groups try to adapt to it and then pass new bills based on that. And they're gonna keep doing this until there's some sort of federal legislation that stops them from doing so, or the Supreme Court is fundamentally changed, or you take over these state legislatures, which is definitely, that's a monumental task in Georgia, but it needs to be done. And there are great groups that are trying to do that. Until one of those things happen, it's just going to be bill after bill after bill after bill across the country, making it harder and harder to vote.
Yeah, and we're gonna get there.
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/thedamagereport. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.